Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking into online learning,
Ooh, online learning.
specifically a project called Virtual Lab Learning Analytics. And we've got some excerpts from a website
Okay.
called Open Educational Resources / Open Source Physics at Singapore to help us understand it.
Sounds interesting.
So get ready to explore the intersection of virtual labs and data analytics in education.
I think you'll find this one really interesting because the project aims to address a key challenge in online science education:
Which is?
how to make hands-on learning possible in a virtual environment.
Okay, that makes sense. I've always thought virtual labs were cool,
Yeah,
but I never really thought about how they could be used to collect data on student learning.
right.
So tell me more about this virtual lab learning analytics thing. What's the big idea?
So imagine a student conducting an experiment online.
Okay.
They're changing variables, observing reactions, making decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine being able to track every step of that process. That's what this project is all about. They're essentially merging the power of virtual labs with something called learning analytics.
Learning analytics, is that like super high-tech AI stuff?
Not quite. It's more about collecting data on how students interact with online learning tools.
Okay.
Think of it as a digital footprint of your learning journey.
Mm.
By analyzing this, data educators can gain valuable insights into how you're understanding the material.
Okay. Yeah.
They can see where you excel, where you might be struggling,
Right.
and tailor their teaching accordingly.
So it's like having a personalized tutor who can see exactly what you need help with,
Exactly.
even if you don't realize it yourself. That's pretty amazing.
And that's just one of the potential benefits of this approach.
All right. I'm officially intrigued. But where do we even begin to unravel this project?
Yeah.
This website seems like a maze of information.
Well, let's start with the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
The website's navigation suggests that this project falls under chemistry
Hmm.
and a specific topic, O2 atomic structure and stoichiometry.
Oh, wow.
This gives us a clue about the subject matter focus of the virtual labs they are developing.
So it's not just about creating any virtual lab. It's about building one specifically designed to teach core chemistry concepts.
Absolutely.
Maybe even at a high school or early college level, judging by the topic.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And the website gives us even more clues.
Hmm.
There are links to a prototype, a Moodle plugin,
Ooh.
and an easy JavaScript simulation authoring tool.
Mm-hmm.
They're practically giving us a behind-the-scenes tour of how these labs are created and integrated into a learning environment.
Oh, and speaking of behind the scenes, there's that section about the project being open source.
Yes.
They're making both the Moodle plugin and the JavaScript simulation tool publicly available on platforms like GitHub and GitLab.
Right.
This is huge.
It is. Open source means anyone can access, modify, and share the code,
Okay.
which is incredibly important in education. It encourages collaboration and innovation.
Yeah,
Educators and developers can work together to improve these tools,
right.
making them even more effective and accessible.
It's like a global team of educators coming together to create the best possible learning resources for everyone. It's the kind of teamwork I can get behind.
Precisely. And this website is clearly passionate about this collaborative approach.
Yeah.
They even have a section promoting the hashtag Gupin initiative, connecting it directly to this project.
They're definitely walking the walk. But hold on. There's something else I found that's pretty exciting, a grant announcement.
Oh, wow.
It turns out this project was selected as an EduLab project and awarded a grant to develop their ideas.
That's fantastic.
It means that educators and funders recognize the potential impact of this project,
Yeah,
and they're investing in its success.
for sure.
So we're not just exploring some random website, we're diving into a project that's already making waves in the educational technology world.
Okay, I'm hooked. What else is hidden in this online treasure trove?
Well, the website has an extensive list of links in its accordion menu.
Okay.
It's like a playground of interactive learning resources.
There are simulations for everything, from stormwater pits to rocket launches.
Wow.
They even have a simulation for the photoelectric effect.
Oh, wow.
Talk about covering a wide range of scientific concepts.
The variety is impressive. They also have entries showcasing awards and recognition, including something called the 2015-6 UNESCO King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa Prize for the use of ICTs in education. This project is clearly no joke.
It's clear they've made a significant impact.
Yeah.
But before we get lost in the sea of simulations, let's focus on a particularly interesting section.
Okay.
The popular tags at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, what's the deal with those tags? It's like a glimpse into what everyone else is checking out on this website.
Exactly. And they offer some intriguing insights.
Huh.
Tags like multiplication and division or fractions suggest a focus on fundamental math concepts,
Okay.
while kinematics and electromagnetism point to more advanced physics topics.
So it seems like they're catering to a wide range of educational levels and subject areas, not just high school chemistry like we initially thought. This project might have even broader implications than we first realized.
You're catching on quickly. This isn't just a single project.
Right.
It's part of a larger movement towards open and accessible educational resources.
Okay.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Uh-huh.
We're uncovering a story of innovation, collaboration, and a vision for the future of learning.
I'm ready to go deeper. But before we do, let's pause for a moment and remind ourselves what we've learned so far. We're exploring a project that's attempting to combine the power of virtual labs
Right.
with the insights of learning analytics.
Yes.
It's an open source project that's already gained recognition and support from the educational community.
For sure.
And it seems like it might have the potential to change the way we think about teaching and learning science.
Yeah.
And maybe even other subjects.
You've got it. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
No.
We've still got the proposal and the final report to unpack. So buckle up, the real deep dive is just beginning. Welcome back to our deep dive into virtual lab learning analytics. We've set the stage exploring the project's goals and its connection to open educational practices.
Yeah.
Now let's roll up our sleeves and get into the nuts and bolts.
Okay.
How did they actually make this ambitious vision a reality?
You read my mind. We've seen hints, the Moodle plugin, like the JavaScript simulation tool.
Right.
But I'm dying to know how it all comes together. Did they actually manage to capture all that data from students interacting with these virtual labs?
They did, and the project proposal gives us a fascinating peek behind the curtain.
Okay.
They specifically chose to use Easy Java JavaScript Simulations, or EJS for short,
JS.
to build these virtual labs.
Okay, so what is EJS and why did they go with that?
Well, the acronym is catchy, but there's more to it than that.
Okay.
EJS is a free and open source tool that makes it relatively easy to create interactive simulations for physics, math, and other science topics. It's like a digital Lego set for building online experiments.
So it's user-friendly for educators who might not be coding wizards,
Exactly.
which aligns perfectly with that whole open source collaborative spirit we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But how did they get those EJS simulations talking to Moodle and collecting all that precious data?
That's where the custom Moodle plugin comes into play.
Yeah.
They essentially created a bridge between the EJS simulations and the Moodle platform,
Oh, okay.
allowing them to seamlessly embed these interactive labs into Moodle courses.
So picture this. You're a student, you log into your Moodle course,
Yeah.
and bam, you've got these awesome virtual labs right there ready to explore. But what kind of data are we actually talking about here? Is it just like, did they get the answer right or wrong?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond simple right or wrong answers.
Okay.
Remember, this project is all about understanding the process of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So they tracked things like the time spent on each step,
Okay.
the variables manipulated, the hypotheses formed,
Right.
even the errors made along the way.
Wait, errors. So they were actually looking at mistakes as valuable data.
Yes.
That's kind of brilliant.
Think about it when you're learning something new, mistakes are inevitable.
Right.
And often they're the most revealing part of the journey.
Yeah.
They can highlight misconceptions, gaps in understanding, or areas where you might need a little extra guidance.
It's like those virtual labs become a window into the student's thought process, allowing teachers to provide more targeted feedback and support. I wish I had this kind of technology back in my school days. But didn't they worry about being overwhelmed by all this data? It sounds like a recipe for spreadsheet overload.
That's a valid concern, but they anticipated that challenge. They developed visualizations and dashboards to help educators make sense of all this data.
Oh, okay.
Instead of drowning in numbers, teachers can see patterns in student behavior,
Right.
identify common areas of difficulty,
Yeah.
and track individual student progress over time.
So it's like turning raw data into actionable insights. Instead of just knowing what students are doing, teachers can understand why they're doing it and tailor their instruction accordingly. That's incredibly powerful.
Exactly. And remember, all of this, the tools, the data analysis techniques, the insights, they're all potentially shareable and adaptable by other educators thanks to the open source approach.
Right.
It's about building a community of practice, not just a single project.
It's like they're planting a seed that could grow into a whole forest of innovative learning experiences. But let's be real, no project is without its challenges.
Did they encounter any bumps in the road?
Of course. Developing a system that seamlessly integrates virtual labs learning analytics.
Yeah.
And a learning management system is no walk in the park.
Right.
It requires serious technical expertise, meticulous planning, and constant testing and refinement.
Plus, I imagine data privacy is a huge concern when you're collecting this much information about how students learn.
Absolutely. They address that head on in their materials.
Ensuring student data is collected, ethically stored securely, and used responsibly is paramount.
Right.
It's not just about the technology, it's about using it ethically and thoughtfully.
So there's a human element to all of this as well.
Yes.
Making sure teachers are comfortable with the technology, understanding the data, and using it to enhance their teaching practices.
That's an excellent point.
Mhm.
They emphasize the need for professional development and support for teachers.
Okay.
It's about empowering educators to use these tools effectively, not overwhelming them with data they don't understand.
It sounds like they've really thought this through, from the technical details to the ethical considerations and the human element. But we're still missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. What were the results? Did this project actually achieve what it set out to do? Did students actually learn more effectively?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And it's precisely what we'll uncover in the final report. Buckle up, because the answers might surprise you.
All right, deep divers, we're back and ready to tackle the final chapter of our virtual lab learning analytics saga. Okay.
We've explored the vision, dissected the tech, even pondered the ethical dilemmas.
Yeah.
Now it's judgment day. Did this ambitious project actually deliver?
Yeah.
Let's crack open that final report and find out.
You'll be intrigued to know that this report isn't just like a dry recitation of numbers and statistics.
What?
It reads more like a detective's notebook,
Interesting.
full of insights and observations gathered along the way.
Okay.
They don't shy away from sharing both the successes and the challenges,
Right.
which makes it all the more valuable for anyone interested in the future of education.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Mhm.
Give me the highlights. Did the project live up to the hype?
One of the most striking findings is the impact on student engagement.
Really?
They discovered that students were far more enthusiastic and motivated when using the virtual labs compared to traditional classroom activities. That makes perfect sense. I mean, who wouldn't prefer tinkering with a virtual rocket launch over passively reading a textbook? It's like the difference between watching a cooking show and actually getting your hands dirty in the kitchen. You learn by doing.
Precisely. And the data confirms this.
Oh, wow.
The learning analytics revealed that students spent significantly more time experimenting, testing different approaches, and even repeating simulations to solidify their understanding.
Okay.
This suggests a level of active learning that's often missing in traditional settings.
So we're not just talking about keeping students entertained. These virtual labs actually seem to be fostering deeper learning. But what about the bottom line? Did their grades improve?
Now that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The report honestly acknowledges that while engagement soared, there wasn't a statistically significant improvement in overall grades.
That's unexpected. So more engagement doesn't automatically translate to better scores. What's the takeaway here?
This is where those learning analytics really shine. How? By digging into the data, they discovered that students who truly embraced the virtual labs, the ones who weren't afraid to experiment, make mistakes, and revise their thinking, those students showed a much deeper grasp of the concepts, even if their test scores didn't immediately reflect it.
So it's not just about getting the right answer, it's about the process, the exploration, the willingness to learn from mistakes. The virtual labs paired with the learning analytics allowed educators to see beyond the superficial and gain a more holistic view of student understanding.
Exactly. It's like having X-ray vision into the learning process.
Wow.
Teachers could identify students who were struggling with specific concepts, even if they were acing the tests, allowing for more targeted interventions and support.
It sounds like these virtual labs could be game changers for personalized learning, but let's be real, did they uncover any limitations or roadblocks along the way?
Of course, they encountered the typical technical hurdles you'd expect when trying to integrate multiple systems. Ensuring seamless data flow and a user-friendly experience for both students and educators. And they openly discussed those challenges in the report.
And what about those ethical considerations we talked about earlier? Did they manage to address those concerns?
They absolutely did. The report emphasizes the importance of clear guidelines for data collection, storage, and usage.
Okay.
Ensuring student privacy remains paramount. They even stressed the need for transparency and open communication with all stakeholders, teachers, students, parents, to build trust and address concerns proactively.
It's refreshing to see a project that's not just focused on the shiny new tech, but also on using it responsibly and ethically. So after this deep dive, what's the final verdict? Was virtual lab learning analytics a success?
I'd say it's more nuanced than a simple yes or no. This project has pushed the boundaries of online science education,
Okay.
demonstrating the power of combining interactive simulations with data-driven insights. While there's still work to be done, they've created a blueprint for a more engaging, personalized, and ultimately more effective learning experience.
And they've done it all with a commitment to open source principles, inviting the wider educational community to join the journey, adapt the tools, and continue to innovate. It's an inspiring example of what's possible when technology and pedagogy work hand in hand.
Indeed. And that's the beauty of deep dives like this.
Yeah.
They spark curiosity, challenge assumptions, and open our minds to new possibilities.
So, dear listeners, we encourage you to continue exploring the links provided, dive into the world of virtual labs and learning analytics, and maybe even imagine how these innovations could transform learning in your own field. The future of education is waiting to be discovered.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.